On my birthday, Ethan stood me up again for his childhood friend. I calmly blew out the candles. Then, I slowly started to distance myself from his world. Later, he would ask me with red Zan-rimmed eyes who the man by my side was. I found it laughable. "What, is having a childhood sweetheart your exclusive right?" Ethan messaged me, saying he was out with friends and would be home late. I calmly replied, "Okay. Friends." I opened Isabelle's Instagram. Sure enough, she had posted a new picture from a dinner party at a hotel. She was the center of attention, her makeup flawless, her smile radiant. The man raising a glass to the camera on her left was Ethan. Her caption read, "When I look back. You're still there, I'm so happy." I stared at the photo for a moment. Then turned off my phone. It was almost 10 o'clock. I lit the candles, made a wish, and blew them out. The icing on the cake had melted a little, but it was still delicious. I cut a slice and ate it. The dinner I had made, repeatedly reheated and cooled, had lost its flavor. I threw it all away. After a shower, I went to bed. I was drifting off when I heard the door open. Ethan stumbled in. Drunk. The door slammed shut, waking me completely. I got up and went out to the living room. He was slumped on the sofa, his eyes half closed. He had clearly had a lot to drink. Hearing my footsteps, he squinted at me and smiled. "Chloe, did I wake you? I'll be more careful next time." "It is fine," I said. "I have to work tomorrow. I'm going back to sleep." "You should too." I put on my eye mask and Bluetooth headphones and went back to the bedroom. The shower started and then stopped. I heard footsteps approaching my door, pausing for a moment, and then leaving. I was relieved, but also a little heartbroken. He hadn't even realized it was my birthday. But the exhaustion soon took over and I fell asleep. When I woke up, he was still asleep in the guest room. I got ready and left. Arshafinjon Utes earlier than usual, since I hadn't made breakfast. Ethan was a picky eater, and I used to spend a lot of time making him a variety of dishes. He would always eat everything, sometimes complimenting my cooking. But today, I suddenly felt tired of it. He was a grown man, he could make his own food. At work, he sent a few messages, asking when I had woken up and why I hadn't woken him. I was busy, and didn't reply. At Shiyi he called, "Chloe, were you busy this morning?" "Yes, a little," I said, looking at the pile of work on my desk. "No matter how busy you are, you have to eat lunch on time." A pause. "Chloe, I'm sorry. I forgot yesterday was your birthday." "Are you angry?" He must have seen the cake in the fridge. I stopped what I was doing and laughed. "No, your friends don't get together often." "It is fine." He seemed relieved. "I'll make it up to you. Let's go shopping when we have time. You can pick out whatever you want." "No, it is okay. We need to save for a house." "Oh, all right," he hesitated. "Chloe, just wait. As soon as we have enough for a down payment, we'll get married." I hung up and went back to work. I knew last night wasn't just a dinner with friends, it was a celebration for Isabelle's promotion, and of course, Ethan would be there for her big moment. Ethan and I were university classmates. I had heard about him from the day I arrived, a genius who had scored wushu points above the admission requirement. I first saw him up close, at a basketball game. He was the star player, his movements fluid and fast. In the last minute, he made the winning shot. The sun shone on him, and in that moment, he captured my heart. I downloaded a picture of him from the university forum and set it as my chat background. We joined the same club and started to interact more. My eyes were always dry. I paid attention to his likes and dislikes, handing him a sugared Zan-free Coke when buying drinks for the group, wiping down his favorite seat before a meeting. I never thought of pursuing him. He and Isabelle were childhood friends. And it was obvious he was in love with her. I thought they would get together, but then I heard she was dating a senior. For a while, I watched the once vibrant young man grow withdrawn and sullen. In our senior year, Isabelle went abroad with her boyfriend. The day she left, Ethan, on his way to the airport to confess his feelings, was in a car accident. He broke his left leg, and the doctors said he might never fully recover. I was terrified. I spent every spare moment at the hospital, helping him with his physical therapy, cooking for him, encouraging him. It was a difficult 6 months, juggling work and his care. When he miraculously recovered, my job was done. I was ready to step back, but he grabbed my hand. "Chloe, you like me, don't you? Will you be my girlfriend?" I looked down, unable to meet his eyes. "Ethan, I do like you. But I want a relationship that leads to marriage, not one born out of gratitude. Are you sure about this?" He smiled. "I'm sure, I like you. And I want to be with you." That afternoon, my manager, Ms. Shaw, called me into her office. "You look well today, Chloe. Much better than before. Have you thought about the transfer I mentioned? It is a great opportunity." "Yes, I want to apply." She was surprised. "What changed your mind?" "I've realized something," I said. My nose tingling. I had once thought that with enough time, I could warm even the coldest, but I had been wrong. Ethan wasn't a stone. If he truly liked someone, he was more proactive than anyone. I just wasn't the one. Near the end of the workday, Ethan called to say he was at my office. This was a rare occurrence. He usually thought it was a waste of time to pick me up, since the subway was so convenient. I went downstairs and saw Isabelle in the passenger seat. Any flicker of anticipation I had felt vanished. "Hi, Chloe." Isabelle greeted me warmly. "I've told you, you should call her sister Dan-in-Dan-law," Ethan said, lightly tapping her on the head. She stuck her tongue out at him playfully. I looked at him, but he said nothing more. As if her being in that seat was the most natural thing in the world. A cold wind blew through my heart. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. "It is just a name," I said, and got into the back seat. Isabelle had returned to the country a year ago and had been a constant presence in our lives ever since. In the car, she and Ethan chatted about their day. I listened silently, feeling like an intruder. It was no wonder they had so much to talk about. They worked at the same company, or rather, Ethan had gotten her the job. Isabelle had been unemployed for a long time after returning. Not for a lack of offers, but because she was too picky. Ethan had been the one who was anxious, spending his evenings searching for suitable positions for her. "Our families are neighbors," he had explained. "Her mom asked me to look after her." He had even pulled strings to get her a position in his company's advertising department. Something he had always claimed to despise. I remembered asking for his help with my own job interview, and he had refused, saying I needed to be able to handle it on my own. The car stopped at a Thai restaurant. "You've always wanted to try this place," he said. A waiter led us to a private room. Isabelle naturally sat next to him. He was either oblivious or just used to it. I sat opposite them. "Chloe, I heard yesterday was your birthday," Isabelle said with a smile. "Yes," I said, glancing at Ethan, who didn't even look up. "Oh, I should have gotten you a gift. It is Ethan's fault, he didn't tell me." Ethan finally looked up. "You, with what money? Don't come crying to me at the end of the month to pay your credit card bill. I'll take care of my girlfriend's gift." He started ordering. When the menu came to me, I added a few dishes and removed one he had ordered. "You don't like this one?" he asked. "No, it is not authentic." "You've been here before?" "Yes, last week, with a colleague." He frowned. Isabelle laughed. "Chloe, Ethan booked this place especially for you. It is a little rude of you to come here with someone else first." His frown deepened, a look of reproach in his eyes. I had to laugh. He had promised to take me here for months, always putting it off, and now I was the one being rude. I glanced at Isabelle. She was smirking. So, she was playing the innocent victim. "Fine, I'll play along." "Well, if I hadn't scouted it out first, you might have been disappointed." I said sweetly, "Let's go see a movie after dinner. Dawn of Fire is supposed to be good." They both froze. "Oh, I forgot," I said, feigning apology. "Your company had a Team Zan building event last week and saw it already. It would be a waste of time to see it again." Ethan cleared his throat. "Let's eat." Halfway through dinner, the waiter brought over 2 desserts, complimentary for couples. In celebration of our 1-year anniversary. He placed them in front of Ethan and Isabelle. Ethan jumped up as if stung. "Are you blind? She is my girlfriend," he yelled, pointing at me. Isabelle looked embarrassed. The waiter apologized profusely. I smiled. "It is okay, I'm full anyway. You two enjoy." The rest of the dinner was tense. In the car, I got into the back seat without a word. Ethan's jaw was tight, Isabelle was silent. After we dropped her off, he asked, "Was work okay today?" "Fine," I replied, not looking up from my phone. Ms. Shaw had messaged about an assessment for the transfer next week. I started reviewing some company files. After a while, I felt his eyes on me in the rearview mirror. He looked at me with a mixture of confusion and inquiry. I looked out the window. "Chloe," he said hesitantly, "you don't have to work so hard." I just smiled. "There is a university reunion next Friday. Do you want to go with me? I have a work dinner," I said, looking at my calendar. "Besides, I don't know them. Isabelle wants to go. She doesn't know anyone either. You could keep each other company. I'm really not sure if I'll have time. You guys go ahead and have fun." He fell silent. The rest of the ride was quiet. Usually, I would be the one trying to make conversation. But today, I just felt tired. At home, he brought me a glass of milk, telling me not to work too late. He lingered. "Is something wrong?" I asked. "That waiter today. He made a mistake. You know I just see Isabelle as a sister. Don't let it bother you." "It is fine," I said, my fingers flying across the keyboard. "He made a mistake. I didn't think anything of it." "You're not angry?" "Why should I be? Your families are neighbors. Her mom asked you to look after her. It is only right that you do." This was the excuse he had always used. Whenever I had cried and screamed about his constant attention to her, he would just watch me break down and then say, "If you can't accept it, then let's break up." I had always been the one to back down. How pathetic. He stared at me, his brow furrowed. Then left. The next morning, he was up early. "Come on, I'll drive you." He took my hand. In the car, he opened the passenger door for me. "I was going to make dumplings for breakfast, but we're out. Your dumplings are the best, Chloe. Let's make some this weekend." "I'm busy," I said, yawning. He was disappointed. When we got to my office, he said, "The subway is so crowded. I'll pick you up from now on." He looked at me, expecting me to be thrilled. I pretended to think for a moment. "Our offices aren't on the same route, it would be a hassle for you, and if you're driving me, who will pick up Isabelle?" This clearly hadn't occurred to him. He stammered, trying to find a solution. "Isabelle is new to the city," I said, quoting him. "You should take care of her." He finally realized I was throwing his own words back at him. He looked angry, and a little panicked. He tried to take my hand, but I dodged him. "I'm here, Ethan. Goodbye." He had never considered that the distance to her apartment and my office were about the same. He was willing to go out of his way for her, but not for me. He had even forgotten his promise that the passenger seat was off Jan limits to other women. Or maybe he just didn't care. He had always pushed my boundaries, confident in my love for him, but he was about to be disappointed. I was tired of it all. I submitted my transfer application. "You've finally made the right choice," Ms. Shaw said. "One can't trip over the same stone twice," I replied with a smile. "I hope it is not too late." The company was opening a branch in my hometown, and I had been the top candidate. I had hesitated because of Ethan. How foolish. A promotion, a higher salary, and a job closer to home. There was no reason to refuse. As I expected, Ethan was giving me the cold shoulder again. Whenever I had mentioned Isabelle in the past, he would accuse me of being petty. "Chloe, it is impossible between Isabelle and me. You shouldn't be so hostile towards her." "Chloe, Isabelle is like family, you can't restrict who I see." "Chloe, that is just her personality. She doesn't mean any harm." You're so understanding. You won't mind, right? He would always take her side, then patiently reason with me until I gave in. But this time, his cold shoulder had no effect. I didn't even notice he was gone for a week until he messaged me, saying he was on a business trip. He asked what I had been up to. I told him. A strange message appeared on the screen for a second before being deleted. I haven't been sleeping well. I thought he had sent it to the wrong person. Then he sent another message. I'm coming back this afternoon. Pick me up at the airport. I'm craving your braised pork ribs. I was annoyed. I was swamped with work, and he wasn't a child. I have to work late, I replied. I'm busy. He didn't reply, that night. Ms. Shaw took me to a dinner with an important client. I drank a lot, Chloe, she said afterward. You'll be facing a lot of situations like this at the new branch. You still have a lot to learn. As I was putting her in a taxi, Ethan called out my name. He rushed over, his voice full of concern. Why did you drink so much? I just looked at him, my head spinning. He helped me into his car. I went to your office, but you were gone. I had to ask the receptionist where you were. I told you not to work so hard. I have to, I mumbled, half-stand drunk. We still need to save for a house. Who else can I rely on? His hands tightened on the steering wheel. He was silent for a long time. After that, he started driving me to and from work every day. I never saw Isabelle in his car again. When I worked late, he would wait for me. He started doing chores and even cooking. I had only ever heard from Isabelle that he was a good cook. After we got together, I was always the one who cooked. He would sometimes help with prep, but usually, he would just play games in his room. I never knew his cooking was so good. We were like any other couple, living a simple, warm life. But I knew it was different. I felt nothing for him anymore. I wasn't excited when he was there. Nor was I disappointed when he wasn't. Sometimes, when he didn't pick me up, I was relieved. I could do what I wanted, go out with colleagues, shop, see a movie. That weekend, he asked me to a movie. I said I had to go to the office and left. He sent me a red envelope, telling me to take a taxi home when I was done. When I got home, the living room was decorated with heart's-shaped balloons. There was steak and wine on the table. He was standing at the door with a large bouquet of roses. Chloe, happy 48th birthday. Welcome home. He handed me the flowers and hugged me. He had cut the steak for me. It was delicious. There were several other of my favorite dishes on the table. I bought all the ingredients this afternoon, he said, watching me expectantly. It is delicious, I said with a smile. Thank you, he seemed relieved. He took out a small box. I know your birthday has passed, but I still want to wish you a happy birthday. Inside was a beautiful diamond ring. Chloe, I've neglected you. From now on, you will be my priority. You don't have to work so hard anymore. I will be your strongest support. Chloe, let's get married. I looked at the sparkling ring. Just as I was about to speak, his phone rang. He frowned and hung up. It rang again. He hung up again. Aren't you going to answer it? I asked. He looked embarrassed but finally answered. His annoyed expression quickly turned to one of alarm. Okay, I'll be right there. He turned to me apologetically. Chloe, there is a problem with one of my projects. I have to go. I nodded and handed him an umbrella. It is raining, drive safe. He was about to kiss me. But I laughed and pushed him towards the door. The moment he was gone, my smile vanished. I continued to eat. I threw the ring aside. I had almost hesitated. The call was from Isabelle. He always took her calls outside, thinking I didn't know, but her voice was so distinctive, I could always hear her. I would just pretend I didn't know and play along. How ridiculous. If his conscience was clear, why the secrecy? But it didn't matter anymore. He came back a few hours later, looking dazed. 3 days later, he took me to a fancy hotel for his department's dinner party. As we were about to go in, a red Audi Faye pulled up. Isabelle got out. Ethan, you're here. Look, isn't my new car beautiful? She smiled brightly and linked her arm through his. He froze, looked at her, then at me, and pulled his arm away. Isabelle, following his gaze, finally saw me. "Chloe, what are you doing here? This is a company team building event." "Isabelle," he said, annoyed. "We were allowed to bring guests." "Oh, I was just worried Chloe would be bored," she said. Quickly trying to recover, she took an umbrella from her car and handed it to me. "I almost forgot. Ethan's umbrella was at my place. It looks like yours. Here, you can have it back." "Isabelle, is this really the time for this?" "Let's go inside," he said. A look of panic on his face. "I have plenty of umbrellas," I said, pushing it back to her. "You can have this one." I walked inside, he followed. His hands sweaty as he took mine again. I knew one of his colleagues. "Lily," she waved me over to sit with her. "You finally made it. We've invited you so many times, but you were always busy." "What?" I was confused. "I never got any invitations." "Really? There have been a few team building events where we could bring guests, and Ethan always said you were busy with work." I fell silent. Ethan came over with 2 drinks. He sat down next to me and took my hand. "What are you talking about?" "Just chatting," I said, pulling my hand away to look at my phone. He stayed for a while, then went to play cards. I saw Isabelle join him. "I'm so confused," I heard 2 girls at another table whisper. "Is Ethan's girlfriend Isabelle or the one who came today?" "I know, right? They come and go to work together all the time. And she is always in our department, asking for help. A lot of times, when she messes up, it is Ethan who cleans up after her. And have you ever heard of a female employee asking her male boss to borrow a sanitary pad? Last time she got her period, it was Ethan who went around asking the female employees for one. Their relationship is definitely not normal." "Haha, for sure." When that girl came in today, Isabelle looked so pissed, her eyes were all red. "Serves her right, she is always acting like she owns the place. Now that the real girlfriend is here, let's see how she acts." Lily looked at me awkwardly. "Chloe, they don't know what they're talking about." "Don't listen to them. Are they that close at work?" I asked. She hesitated, a little. "You should come around more often, Chloe. Some of the new colleagues don't know about you. It would shut them up. I can't stand that, Isabelle. But it seems like Ethan has been avoiding her lately." I looked down, my mind on what the girls had said. I remembered a time when I had been on my period and had run out of pads. I had asked Ethan to pick some up on his way home. He had come home empty-handed and angry. "Chloe, how could you ask me to buy something like that? I'm a man, people will think I'm a pervert. And it is your own fault for not being prepared." He had then taken a cold Coke from the fridge, turned the air conditioner on full blast, and gone to his room to play games. I had stood there, dizzy and in pain. Then gone out to buy them myself. I had tried to understand him then, and had never asked again. But for Isabelle, he was willing. "Thank you for telling me," I said to Lily. On my way back from the restroom, I got lost and ended up outside an empty private room. I could hear hushed voices inside. It was Ethan and Isabelle. "Why can't I get the same car as you?" Isabelle's voice was raised. Then, it softened. "Ethan, you're the best. I asked my parents for a car so many times. But they wouldn't buy me one, but you just gave me 20,000 without a second thought. I gave you the money because you said you needed a car for work," he said. His voice strained. "But now you're buying the same model as me, with a similar license plate. What will people at work think? What will Chloe think? What are you afraid of?" She scoffed. "We're innocent." "Ethan, you've been so cold to me lately. You promised me, didn't you? That even if you had a girlfriend, our bond would never change. That I would always be the most important person to you." He sighed. "Isabelle, I want to get married. Chloe is a good person, she is capable, and she is good to me. She is the perfect person to marry. You have a stable job now, you have a car. I paid a year's rent for your apartment, you can take care of yourself now." "Ethan," she sobbed, throwing her arms around him. When I was in France, heartbroken. You were the one who flew over to comfort me. That is why I came back. We've known each other for over 20 years. I know all your likes and dislikes. What is she? Just a thief who snuck in while I was gone. Are you happy with her, Ethan? Ask your heart, who do you choose? I was frozen. I thought they had only reconnected in the past 6 months. But he had flown to her, even while we were together. What had our 4 years been? Just a part of their game. The humiliation was overwhelming. Isabelle, I heard him say softly. My mind is a mess right now, I need to think. The thread of my reason snapped. I pushed the door open. Seeing my shocked expression, a sense of powerlessness and nausea washed over me. I looked at him, and with a sense of relief, I said, you don't have to think. I'm out, I wish you two a happy life. I walked out, he chased after me, grabbing my hand, his eyes red. Chloe, don't go, let me explain. I pried his fingers off and got into a taxi. Back at our apartment, I started packing. He rushed in, holding me from behind. His warm breath on my ear felt like the coils of a snake, and the nausea returned. I stopped struggling. Ethan, let's talk. He loosened his grip, I stepped back. You wanted to explain, I'm listening. He hesitated. Chloe, is it because I forgot your birthday? You've been acting strange ever since. I'm sorry, I'll change. I'll remember every important date from now on. If you don't like me giving Isabelle rides, I won't. I've been trying to keep my distance. I come home right after work. I cook your favorite dishes. I just want to live a peaceful life with you. That is why I proposed. Maybe I've been a little neglectful and paid too much attention to Isabelle, but that is because you're so mature and capable. Isabelle has always been spoiled. She always needs me to clean up her messes. I can't just ignore her. Chloe, I haven't cheated on you. I haven't done anything to wrong you. What will it take for you to believe me? If you don't want to see Isabelle, you don't have to. Is that okay? Chloe, say something. I looked at him. The man I had lived with for 4 years. His eyes were full of anxiety and hope, but not a shred of guilt. I laughed and shook my head. A tear escaping, it was as if that single tear washed away the last of my feelings for him. You, he said, a sense of unease in his voice. You said a man buying sanitary pads would be seen as a pervert. Why did you borrow them for Isabelle? He was taken aback. She was in a desperate situation. I didn't think. I nodded. You said you had a problem with a project, but you went to Isabelle's place. Is that right? Yes, she fell and hurt herself. We didn't do anything. Are you a doctor? Does she not know how to call an ambulance? He was silent. You paid a year's rent for her, didn't you? Yes, she had just come back and didn't have much money. I won't do it again. You didn't give her rides anymore, but you gave her 20,000 to buy a car. Was that your solution? I lent it to her, he mumbled. She'll pay it back. I was speechless. I looked at him, still clueless, and asked, do you know how much our rent is? Do you know how much the camera I bought you cost? Or the gaming computer for your birthday? Do you know the price of beef at the supermarket? Or how much our dinners cost? Do you know how much time and money it takes to furnish this apartment? Why are you bringing this up now? He asked, confused. What does this have to do with you wanting to break up? I'm not a petty person, Ethan, I said. I never kept a detailed account of what I spent on this apartment, but you don't think these things just fall from the sky, do you? Your favorite drinks and snacks are always in the fridge. The camera and computer you wanted, but couldn't afford. I took on extra work to buy them for you. My stomach isn't good. But I learned to cook your favorite dishes. You said I was a good person, capable, a suitable wife. But you never said you loved me. You proposed with a ring and a single meal. But what other preparations have you made? Have you met my parent? We agreed to save for a house and then get married. I've been working towards that goal. What about you? How much have you saved? His face turned pale. I'll save. I'll talk to my parents about the wedding. I'll visit your parents, I'll buy a house. You still don't get it, I said, shaking my head. They say, where a person's money is, that is where their heart is. Look at Isabelle, she has only been back for 6 months, and you've arranged everything for her. A job, an apartment, a car. We've been together for 4 years. Have you ever put that much effort into planning our future? You say you haven't cheated. That you haven't done anything to wrong me. What do you mean by that? Kissing, sex, I believe you haven't done that yet, but is that the only way to cause hurt? Your indifference, your constant choosing of her over me. Your being at her beck and call. Isn't that hurtful? Your recent behavior is just damage control, because you've sensed a change in my attitude. But have you really learned your lesson? Do you really think you were wrong? I'm tired of this life. I don't want to be your second choice. I don't want to live in a constant state of suspicion, only to be told I'm overreacting. I want someone who loves me with their whole heart, who will plan for our future and work towards it. And that is not you. If you like Isabelle, then go after her. You have a long history together. I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. Let's break up. No, Chloe, he stammered, reaching for me. I slapped his hand away. Now, are you leaving, or am I? I said, grabbing my suitcase. He looked at me. His face flushed with shame. Don't, it is not safe for you to be out at night. I'll go, he said quietly. The apartment was quiet again. I felt a sense of relief. Today, Ms. Shaw told me my transfer had been approved. In a month, I would be going home. To a new job with a higher salary. How wonderful. I spent the next 2 hours sorting through the apartment, packing up Ethan's things for him to pick up. I also put some of my own things up for sale online. Suddenly, my phone rang. Chloe, it is me, I'm in town. I thought I had been clear, but Ethan didn't seem to understand. After a few days of silence, he started bombarding me with messages, flowers, and long apology letters. Even Lily messaged me. Chloe, Ethan has been in a terrible mood, he has been making a lot of mistakes at work, and he yelled at Isabelle when she came to see him. Did you two have a fight? No fight, I replied, a breakup. It was raining when I left work. I was trying to decide whether to run to the subway or call a taxi when Ethan appeared in front of me. Chloe, I'm here to pick you up. I rolled my eyes, he chattered on. Oblivious to my coldness. It is getting cold, you should dress warmer. My car is warm. You used to say you wanted a cat. I was thinking a rag doll. And your favorite artist is having a concert this weekend, I got us tickets. Enough, I said, cutting him off. I thought I was clear last time, we are broken up. He looked at me, a pained smile on his face. Chloe, I don't want to break up, I'll change. Don't our 4 years together mean anything? I don't believe you have no feelings for me anymore. Before I could reply, a pair of strong arms pulled me into an embrace. I looked up and saw Leo, holding me protectively, facing Ethan. He raised an eyebrow. Didn't you hear her? You're broken up, that was a notification. Not a negotiation. Now get lost. Ethan was stunned. Chloe, who is this? He asked, pointing at Leo. Skek, Leo said, stepping forward and extending a hand. Hello, ex-damn boyfriend, my name is Leo. Chloe and I grew up together. I'm her childhood sweetheart. You. Ethan sputtered, his face turning a shade of purple. I found it laughable. What? Is having a childhood sweetheart your exclusive right? I ignored him and linked my arm through Leo's. What are you doing here? It is raining, I was worried. And it is a good thing I came, isn't it? Or would you have let him talk you into taking him back? He asked, a look of concern in his eyes. Of course not, I laughed. I'm wide awake now. Ethan just stood there, speechless. We decided to get hot pot for dinner. As soon as we sat down, Ethan walked in and sat at the table next to us. He followed us the whole way. Hey, ex-damn boyfriend, Leo said. A good ex should act like he is dead. Who gave you permission to harass Chloe? Scram, You. Ethan gritted his teeth. Just ignore him, I said to Leo. Ethan just stared at me, a hurt look in his eyes. Leo went to get me some dipping sauce and came back with a bowl full of green. You call yourself her childhood friend, and you don't even know what she likes. Chloe doesn't eat cilantro or garlic, Ethan said scornfully. Leo slammed the table. You were with her for 4 years, and you don't know that she loves cilantro and garlic. She puts them in everything. What? Ethan was shocked. He had never known. When we were in university, he had once mentioned that he didn't like strong flavors. So, to accommodate him, I had never eaten them in front of him. But then I had found out that Isabelle loved them, and he would always make sure to get them for her. I had been waiting for him to notice my own preferences. He never did. So much for a selfless love. I'm glad it is over. I dipped a piece of lamb in the sauce and ate it. Delicious, I said. Giving Leo a thumbs down up, Ethan just stared at me, a storm of emotions in his eyes. He didn't touch his food. When we got back to my apartment, he blocked our path. Chloe, I need to talk to you. Hey, get away from her, Leo said, stepping between us. Who the hell are you? Ethan exploded. Mr. Chen, why are you still here? It is late, I have something to say to Chloe, please leave. Leo just smiled. Where am I supposed to go? I live here, Chloe invited me. What? Ethan looked at me, his face a mask of disbelief. I ignored him. It was my apartment, I could invite whomever I wanted. I opened the door and went inside. Then brought out all of Ethan's packed belongings. I was going to call you to pick these up, but since you're here, you might as well take them now. He just stood there. I was about to say something when he grabbed my wrist, pulled me into a room, and locked the door. He pressed me against the wall and kissed me. A deep, desperate kiss. I felt sick and pushed him away, slapping him hard across the face. Ethan, are you insane? He laughed, a crazed, tearful laugh. Chloe, where did this guy come from? Why is he living in our apartment? This is our home. Are you throwing me out to make room for him? Tell me it is not true. The door burst open. Leo punched him in the face. You bastard, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. He rained blows on Ethan, who fought back. Stop it, I cried. Ethan paused when he heard my voice. I knelt by Leo's side, checking his eye. Are you okay? It is just a scratch, he said. Trying to act tough. Don't be reckless, you've always been delicate. Don't get hurt over someone who doesn't matter, I said. Gently rubbing his eye. Chloe, Ethan yelled, his voice hoarse. Don't look at him, look at me. I'm hurt too. I'm hurt worse than he is. Chloe, don't be so nice to him. I can't take it. I looked at him, and in his desperation, I saw a reflection of my past self. I laughed, a sense of satisfaction washing over me. I can't help it, we're childhood friends. You showed me how a childhood sweetheart should be treated. I was just reflecting on how poorly I've treated him. I need to be more considerate. Thank you for teaching me that. A tear fell from his eye. The days passed quickly. Leo would drive me to and from work, we would cook dinner together, or go out for hot pot. On the weekends, he would take me to explore the city. I was ashamed to admit that in my 8 years here, I had never really seen it. Leo was a great travel companion, and we had a wonderful time. Lily messaged me. Chloe, did you know? Ethan reported Isabelle, she has been fired. Why? He wanted her to pay back the $30,000 she owes him, but she refused, said it was a gift, so he reported her for stealing a colleague's idea to get a promotion. A few days later, she messaged again. Oh my God, I just found out about you guys. That Ethan is a real piece of work. You did the right thing, sister. You deserve so much better. Don't be sad, I laughed. Thanks, I'm not sad. I have more important things to worry about than romance. Oh good, did you know? Isabelle reported him for using company resources for personal gain. The company investigated, and it was true. He has been fired and is being sued. He was on track to be the youngest department head too. I was surprised. I had noticed he had a tendency to do that when we were together and had warned him against it. I thought he had stopped, or maybe he had never stopped, and had just gotten Isabelle involved. He was too confident, too arrogant. He thought she would never betray him. I didn't really care about their drama. When Leo heard, he ate 3 bowls of rice for dinner. I didn't expect to see Ethan again, but on the morning I was leaving the city, he was there. He looked thin and haggard. He smiled a pathetic smile. "Chloe, just a few minutes. I just want to say a few things." I sighed. "All right." We stood in a corner. "What do you want to say? Are you going on a business trip? How long?" "No, I'm transferring. I'm not coming back." "When did you decide? Was it after I forgot your birthday?" "Yes, what a fool I've been. I'm a bastard," he said, his voice full of self-loathing. "Chloe, you were wrong when you said I only wanted to marry you because you were suitable. I was wrong about Isabelle. When she came back, I was tempted. But I never wanted to break up with you. I was never jealous of her other boyfriends. But when I see you with another man, I go crazy. I can't sleep just thinking about it. I was just trying to show off to her, to show her how well I was doing without her. My vanity ruined everything. I'm so sorry." He handed me a file. "I've been thinking about what you said, where the money is. That is where the heart is. This is everything I have. My car, my bank cards, the deed to my parents' house. The house we looked at, the one you loved. I can't afford it now, but I'll work hard. I'll save every penny, when I can buy it. Will you give me another chance?" I looked at him, his eyes full of a desperate hope. I was silent for a moment. "Ethan, you don't have to work so hard, there is really no need. I once dreamed of our future, of the house we would build together. But when Isabelle wanted to rent a place, you told her all about my dream house, and even helped her find one just like it in the same neighborhood. From that moment on, I developed a phobia. I gave up on that dream." The color drained from his face as I spoke. I smiled, a smile of release. "Ethan, we can never go back." In the car, Leo nudged me. "Hey, you have a problem," I said, rubbing my arm. "Finally back to normal. Let me tell you. Scumbags aren't worth your sympathy. Can't you have better taste in men? What is it to you?" He handed me a box. Inside was a gold bracelet, a reward for taking care of me. "I saved a lot of money on hotels, staying with you. Consider this a little something for your troubles." I looked at him, then threw my arms around him. "Thank you, brother." He grinned and ruffled my hair. "Silly girl." Yes, Leo was not only my childhood sweetheart, but also my cousin. If Ethan had ever bothered to meet my parents, he would have known. My parents and his were civil servants, and lived in the same apartment building, right across the hall from each other. We had been in the same class since elementary school. We were both only children and were as close as any brother and sister. "When I saw you at New Year's," he said. "You looked so sad, just staring at your phone. When my aunt and uncle asked about your boyfriend, you were so evasive. I knew something was wrong. I'm glad you've moved on." Ugh, I should have hit him harder. "Please," I laughed. "You're a twig." He was on the basketball team. "You wouldn't have stood a chance." He pouted, then changed the subject. "I just got a message. My aunt has a welcome-home feast waiting for you." "Great," I said. A genuine smile on my face. Outside the car window, the sun was shining, warm and gentle. A new journey was just beginning.